Hello there. Far from needling Russia into action against Ukraine, it turns out the UK was bending over backwards not to annoy Putin. Now, I'm absolutely aware that there are those out there that will do all they can to disbelieve this emerging story. But a former Tory Defence Secretary, Michael Fallon, who served in the post from 2014 to 2017, has claimed that despite the Ukrainian government being desperate for weapons to combat Russian aggression after the invasion of Crimea, 3 successive Tory Prime Ministers refused to supply them. Something that indicates to me that we had no intention of allowing Ukraine to join NATO. Yes, David Cameron, Theresa May and Boris Johnson all felt that it would be unwise to ruffle Putin's feathers, so they refused Ukrainian government requests to supply them with lethal weaponry, right up until just a few weeks prior to Putin's war against Ukraine started in February. And Fallon claims he and the Ministry of Defence wanted to do more to help Ukraine, but according to The Times, Fallon said, "We were stymied and we were blocked in cabinet from sending the Ukrainians the arms they needed. Some in the cabinet felt extremely strongly that we should do nothing to further provoke Russia. I felt that was absurd. The Russians didn't need any provoking. They were already there, sending people across the border." And he also said that due to lack of weaponry, the Ukrainians were unable to resist Russian incursion into the Donbass region. At times they had little more than rifles, Fallon claimed. Although the Ukraine order of battle at the time does tell a different story, although much of that equipment would not have been committed to the Donbass region. Now I know that at this point the pro-Putin brigade will claim that Ukraine had barrages of artillery and were systematically shelling and killing Russian-speaking people in the Donbass region. They actually call it a genocide, but only because they are Putin's parrots. If that had been the case, Russia could easily have taken the claims to the United Nations. After all, Russia is a member of the Security Council. But that was not done. Although Russian ambassadors did circulate claims at the UN just before their 2022 invasion, claiming all sorts of horrors inflicted on the Donbass by Ukraine, but those claims were found to be baseless and in some cases fabricated in order to justify their imminent murderous attack on Ukraine to fulfill the dreams of their ageing leader. Anyway, according to what I've read, there have been about 13,000 deaths due to the conflict in Donbass over the last 8 years, of which 3,000 were civilian deaths. And reports indicate that atrocities were committed by both sides during the conflict. Now compare those numbers over 8 years to the untold tens of thousands that Putin has slaughtered in the last 2 months. Some people on social media and comment sections need to do a lot more research of their own and a lot less waiting for the next Kremlin press release before they tap out full stuff on their keyboards. But back to the core topic. While the UK was refusing to upset President Putin of Russia, France and Germany were busy arming Russia, despite the EU arms embargo placed on Russia after it invaded Crimea in 2014. No wonder Putin felt invulnerable. 2 of the most senior EU members were actively helping him, and the UK was totally silent and weak and in full appeasement mode. And it would not surprise me in the slightest if it comes out further down the line that the US and the EU had also been refusing to arm Ukraine in any significant manner over that time on the same basis. And I had a quick look at the list of weapons the Ukrainian forces use, and the vast majority of it is either ex-Soviet, Russian or Ukraine-made, with Western arms only featuring in any great number since the start of this year. Had NATO been expanding east and heavily supporting Ukraine since 2014, the Ukrainian arms inventory would be chock-a-block with US armaments, and Ukraine forces would be fully trained on them and operating them. They would already have Abrams and UK Challenger tanks, for example, as well as all those sophisticated anti-air and anti-tank weapons that we are belatedly shoving in their direction. But Ukraine didn't have those NATO weapons and training. That process is only just starting now, after Putin started his invasion. If what Fallon says is true, then it is just another lesson in appeasement. It doesn't work. Let's hope we're already applying this lesson learnt to the China-Taiwan situation.